Good morning. This is day 5 of our daily devotions. Our verse for today is 1 Peter 5:7. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you. This verse is really talking about praying and seeking the Lord. So you need to pray when you're worrying, stressing, panicking, overthinking, assuming, controlling, and wondering. In all situations, we need to pray. And I want to briefly explain the different levels of prayer. Brother Jay at the church can expound on these a lot more on a deeper level. So the first level is petition. This is where we ask God for things. Now, there's nothing wrong with asking God for things. He is our Father and He longs to provide for us. However, this is a very basic level prayer and it's me centered rather than God centered. And if you're not a strong believer, then you turn God into a genie or Santa. Level 2 is intercession, which is where most believers fall. This is where you pray for other people. You abandon your own needs and you lift up the needs of others. This is the level where you will start to experience spiritual warfare. Level 3 is spiritual warfare. On this level, you are praying against the demonic forces that are trying to hinder God's will. In Daniel 10, we know that Daniel was praying. He needed a specific answer. It took, 3 weeks, 21 days for the prayer to be answered because one of the archangels was fighting with a demonic entity, the Prince of Persia. And so things can hinder what we're trying to accomplish in the kingdom because there are hindering spirits and there are monitoring spirits. But when you pray on this level, you are exercising your spiritual legal authority. Level 4 is prophetic. This is where you're calling out those things that are not as if they were. You're praying God's will into existence with revelation. You are operating from the understanding of God's heart and His desired will. And now you're trying to get into God's perspective rather than your own human perspective. And you have a greater responsibility with this prayer. And so to engage in this prayer, you have to be a really strong believer who spends a lot of time in the quiet place. And you have to have that spiritual grounding, understanding of the Word of God so that you are intimately related to God and listening to God and hearing from God. And level 5 is intimacy. This is where prayer transcends words and enters into communion with God, where you're actually just sitting in His presence and receiving from Him or ministering to Him. This is the prayer that lets you enjoy God's presence and simply be with your Father. It's where you're moving from wanting things from God to wanting God Himself. And I'll leave you with that thought. Have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy your service.